It's happening. SpaceX launching their new Starship in March 2022. Hashtag TechUnited. So SpaceX is the buzz topic nowadays, with every second making it to the headline. So in this video, we will be talking about SpaceX finally launching its new Starship in March 2022. Yes, it is finally happening. Want to know more about it? Then switch this video to full screen and watch this video till the end. Hello everyone, welcome to Tech United, a channel where you can find everything about tech. And in today's video, we are going to talk about the revolutionary satellites known as Starlink. But before we head into the video, consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and also don't forget to press the bell icon. With that being said, let's begin. SpaceX Starship 2022 is set to pave the way to Mars. Elon Musk, the company's CEO, has enormous aspirations for Mars, Moon, and beyond. So while pursuing this ambition, SpaceX's under-construction ship, Starship, is coming together. And with that, Starship is ready to support SpaceX's most important objectives. Elon Musk, the company's CEO, announced on Wednesday that the company's under-development spaceship will fly a dozen times in 2022 at a high fly rate. In 2023, the spacecraft will be capable of delivering actual goods before proceeding on to more ambitious aims like sending humans to Mars and Moon. Moral: the remarks presented during a joint session of the Space Studies Board and the Board on Physics and Astronomy detail how the stainless steel rocket, now being built in Texas, will progress from concept to operational ship. The Starship can be described as a stainless steel rocket that stands roughly 400 feet in height when combined with its super heavy booster, and is first revealed in 2017 under the acronym BFR. It can fly up to 3 times each day and is totally reusable. It can launch up to 150 tons of cargo or 100 humans into orbit at once. It's a venture that could help SpaceX achieve some of its most important objectives. Because it uses liquid oxygen and methane as rocket fuel, astronauts will be able to fly to Mars, refuel using the planet's resources, and then either come back to Earth or travel further as part of its planet-hopping circuit. Musk said at the occasion that this Starship is intended to be a generic transport vehicle for the broader solar system. The next step. According to Musk, the Starship's long-awaited orbital voyage might happen as soon as January 2022. In September of 2019, the business completed the first full-scale model of the Starship. It officially deployed and landed a full-scale prototype, SN-15, to a height of about 33,000 feet in May 2021. The next step is the orbital mission, which will take the ship and booster 19 minutes. It will take off from the Texas site, disengage from the launcher approximately 2 minutes after blastoff, and land roughly 16 miles northwest Kauai, Hawaii. Musk stated during the event that the space station and tower would be completed by the end of November, and then in December, SpaceX will finish a series of tests before going on to an orbital mission the month later. Following that, Musk intends to hold 12 flight tests in 2022. Beyond 2022. Payloads. Musk hopes to go on actual loads by 2023, provided the test flights in 2022 go well. It's uncertain whether this implies SpaceX will still send a Japanese entrepreneur, Yusaku Maezawa, all around the moon in 2023. The project was first announced in 2018, and it would comprise 8 lucky contest winners. After payloads, the Starship also has ambitions to launch people on the moon, as per the mission of the NASA Artemis project. Bill Nelson, who is also the agency administrator, hinted that the said mission in all its possibility would not happen any time before 2025. He further said that the said Starship would also be able to transport enough people and mass to the moon, all because of its ability to shear at the Mars level. They further intend to have a permanently occupied place on the moon, basically just like the base that they already have at the Antarctica. Then about humans on Mars, SpaceX even has its mission to launch humans to Mars. The stipulated time is yet to be known. But in 2017, Musk had formed a set of tasks of sending 2 uncrewed rockets in 2022 and 2 more crewed ships in 2024. He said at the latest event that SpaceX would deploy at minimum 2 or 3 uncrewed starships to the planet of Mars to show that the spacecraft has the ability and capability to fly safely. He further said that there is a possibility that they could collaborate with NASA or with NASA and other nations for this mission of transporting people to Mars. All of this helps Musk achieve his long-term aim of establishing a city with 1 million people by 2050 on Mars. According to Musk, the ship might facilitate a planet-hopping network since it could refuel at liquid fuel depots on the Mars or the Moon before continuing on its journey. He further said that one could basically planet hop, provided they have a base on Mars with a high delta V. He added that they could go to Ceres from Mars and possibly to one of Jupiter's moons, and then finally to the farthest reaches of the solar system. Musk even mentioned the possibility of sending a 100-ton object to Europa, which is one of the moons of Jupiter. He further explained that the spaceship is capable of carrying almost every arbitrary mass to any of the solid surfaces in the solar system because of the ship's architecture. Everything coming in 2022. The SN-15 test flight was the series culmination of the expensive test flights that organization SpaceX ran a year long. The success sets the stage for the orbital test flight for the next prototype, dubbing SN-20 over the Super Heavy booster rocket in 2022. SN-20 will surely turn into a fireball when it is launched and impact the planned landings at sea or point in between. That will make for an explosive introduction, but as the organization continues iterating, refining the design, and trying again, they will get the thing right even if it takes SN-21, 22, and SN-30. Elon Musk, CEO of SpaceX, says he is confident that one or more Starships will reach orbit by 2022. After that, the company will return to flight testing mode, flying Starship to orbit and back to ensure the vessel's reliability. The company expects to launch real payloads by 2023. At that point, SpaceX will have by far the largest and most powerful rocket ship on the planet, more than twice as powerful as NASA's 1960s-era Saturn V moon rocket, and nearly twice the thrust of NASA's planned Space Launch System. SpaceX will carry out its $2.9 billion NASA contract to land astronauts on the moon in 2025, once Starship is operational. But perhaps more importantly for SpaceX, how SpaceX will accelerate the deployment of SpaceX's Starlink satellite constellation and position Starlink for an IPO. In a single launch, the Starship will transport more than 150 tons of cargo into low Earth orbit. That 150-ton payload equates to the mass of 577 Starlink satellites, compared to the 60 Starlinks per launch that SpaceX can currently put into orbit with its Falcon 9 rockets, a nearly tenfold increase in payload per launch. Thus, SpaceX will launch more satellites into orbit with just 2 Starship launches than it did with 17 Falcon 9 launches last year. SpaceX can complete the entire planned Starlink constellation of 12,000 satellites with 17 Starship launches. Summarizing the entire thing, Starship will surely be the most critical development in 2022 by SpaceX. It is essential to possess advancing progress on Starlink and bring the subsidiary of SpaceX closer to the promised IPO. The Rocket Lab is completed with 24 commercial launches to space until that IPO gets developed. It is still closest to publicly traded analog for SpaceX among pure-play space stocks. But the Starships won't be able to make the headlines that SpaceX makes this year, and in total, some sources predict that SpaceX will launch 48 separate missions in 2022. These missions will include 4 different Transporter Express missions of SmallSat, 2 CRS missions for resupplying, 2 crew missions to send NASA astronauts to ISS, almost a dozen of Starlink launches, and 2 astronaut missions, with Axiom first and second to send astronauts from Axiom Space, a private space organization, to ISS, to start figuring out how to set up the commercial space stations. Finally, NASA tapped the Falcon Heavy launch vehicles of SpaceX to send the spaceship to examine 16 Psyches. The mission will discover new clues on terrestrial planets and how they look like Earth. And there will be ulterior motives for this mission. It is famed as a whopping 10 quadrillion USD asteroid. And the 16 Psyche is a hunk of space rock that is believed to comprise a lot of nickel and iron that, if returned to Earth, will be melted and mined and yield metals equal in value for over 120,000 years worth of global GDP of the planet. If this is not what interests investors to invest in space stocks, then no wonder what will. So that's all about the video and the new Starship that SpaceX is launching in March 2022. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channel for more uploads like this. Until the following video, let us know your views in the comments below. And we'll see you in the next one.